Did you pick Rogue because it seems like the most OP class, but you keep dying to everything in the game? This Rogue tips and tricks guide will turn you from zero to hero, and I'll show you multiple builds, playstyles, and how to avoid enemy attacks to get the most extractions possible and start building those gold stockpiles. Come check me out on Twitch for more dark and darker content. First of all, the starting knives are absolutely trash. I like the stiletto knife and the Chris dagger as they have the faster animations and they seem to do a lot more damage than what you start with. But you need to get money, so let's look at how to gain some gold first. In order to get an easy extraction, I recommend the perks Stealth, Double Jump, or Stealth Walk, and either Weak Point Attack or Rupture. The main reason for having these to start with is to get those easy escapes. If you get trapped in a corner by mobs or players, you can just go invisible and they will de-aggro, or you can jump your way out of there. This way you can avoid fights while still getting lots of escapes, so you can invest in some better weapons to take on your journey. When it comes to enemy attacks, you need to get used to the attack patterns to easily move past or take out skeletons and goblins with ease. For overhead attacks, either walk backwards or step to the left, and you can usually get 2 attacks in before your enemies attack. For side slashes, walk to the left or just double jump over it or away from it. Your right click attack does slightly more damage than the left click on the stock daggers, so spam that right click. The third animation actually does the most damage, so try to start the combo before your attack hits the opponent to get those last 2 swings for the maximum damage. When it comes to spiders, the easiest thing is just to crouch down and kill them, and to jump on the back of the spawner so they don't spawn on you while you are breaking it. Mummies are a great enemy to eliminate if you see them. They drop gems which sell for good gold, and bandages which obviously let you heal yourself. If you see a player while either not at full health or you're on one of these low tier loot runs trying to scavenge together some gold, just ignore them. There's no point in fighting if you aren't at full HP or have any good gear. Just go invisible, or if they're chasing you, ditch your clothes, as rogues have the fastest movement and action speed in the game. Ain't no one catching a naked rogue running away, I can tell you that. Now that you've got a few extractions under your belt and some coin, let's look at what we can buy and where. You obviously buy weapons from the weaponsmith, but his weapons change and it's always random, so you don't know if it'll be good or bad. Like here, we've got this blue rapier, but an hour ago, I had a gray rapier. Here, we've got a green rondelle dagger, but just a few hours ago, it was gray. So you always have to come back and check what they've got in between runs to see if you can get good things or bad things and try and figure it out from there. You want to get a dagger that does more damage than the starter ones. As you can see, the rondelle only does 14 damage, whereas this rondelle does 22. This Castellon does 16 damage, whereas this one does 20. But you can only get what's available. Next, you want to buy armor from the tailor, as he carries the best rogues kits. Look at this doublet, 22 armor rating compared to 14. And lastly, you can buy potions from the alchemist for 6 gold, or a higher potion for 18, but I would recommend the 6 gold one. And you can buy bandos from the surgeon. You can buy 3 health potions and 3 bandages from each of these places. Now let's talk builds. We touched on them briefly at the beginning, but now you should have some levels under your belt to try some skills. There's 3 main types of rogues: a stealthy rogue, a high DPS rogue, and a rogue that's a combo of the 2. First is the stealth build. You run stealth, which means while invisible, you can take 10 slow steps, which is great for getting out of situations where you're cornered. Next, you run creep, which significantly reduces footstep sounds while crouch walking. You run the double jump because you always run the double jump when playing as a rogue because it's super OP and gets you out of so many sticky situations. And finally, Shadow Runner, which gives you a 15% speed increase for 3 seconds when coming out of hide, which is great for rushing through a door to get out of danger. This build is perfect for getting extractions, running and hiding from enemies, and just basically being a ninja. For the DPS build, you run back attack, which increases damage done from the back by 30%, which is great for coming out of hide and stabbing people in the back of the head. Next is Poisoned Weapon, which applies 4 magic damage over 4 seconds and it stacks up to 5 times. And this actually also applies to throwing knives. Obviously we go for the double jump again, as previously explained. And we use Thrust, which will ignore 15% of the target's physical damage reduction when attacking. This build with a good loadout will absolutely destroy other teams, especially when coupled with good hide strats. And this is the combo build. What I run is back attack as my first perk to do extra damage to their backs when I come out of hide. Poison weapon I run, so when I attack them, they're being dealt extra damage for 4 seconds. Double jump again, because obviously, like I said before, it's OP. And then stealth as well, so I can walk around while invisible to get the right angle on the other team's backs. My favorite thing to do with this build when playing with friends is when we see another team, I hide while my teammates draw the other team into a tight corridor. My teammates lure them past me and we surround them as I come out of hide and attack the other team's backs, killing at least 1 or 2 of them while my teammates do the rest. Now that you are kitted out, you can go fight some people and look for some real loot. When encountering other players as the rogue, sound is your best friend. Make sure to listen out for players, breaking pots, fighting mobs, casting spells, or shooting arrows. It all makes a lot of sound, so listen out for those sounds. Pressing shift will make you walk slightly quieter as a rogue. And make sure you use your environment to your advantage. If you're on at full health and another player is trying to engage you in a fight and you can aggro mobs, go invisible, and they'll attack them instead. Invisibility is your best friend in PvP fights. If you have backstab equipped, make sure you attack the back of the opponent's head for maximum damage when coming out of stealth. This info should help you on your way to becoming an elite rogue in Dark and Darker. Now watch this next video to see the funniest moments from Dark and Darker, or check me out on Twitch at @JacksonGames_ for more sweet Dark and Darker content, and I'll see you there.